Am I being heard? Hello? I need to know you can hear me for sure. Oh, okay. Again, it's a delay. The internet bandwidth delay. All right. Yeah, so we woke up in a time where black people are not safe anywhere in the world. They are being accused for every and anything. The Chinese people accuse black people for the outbreak of COVID, which we know is false. It is their virus. They created it, they manufactured it. Black people even hate black people. That we saw some months ago in South Africa, when blacks hate and kill blacks. In southern Cameroon, we have a black race being promoted and sponsored by the white French people to kill other black people, and they have died today in their thousands and thousands. We're counting today above 20,000. What we saw on George Floyd, may he go back to his God and find peace, it's nothing compared to what we've been seeing in the southern Cameroons. The scenario where this white police officer squeezed his leg on the neck of George Floyd, and this guy literally cried for his life. He cried and begged that he could not breathe. And upon his last breath, he asked for forgiveness from his even dead mother. Who knows what killed the mother? This reminds me of what happened in Bafut in 2018, when a young southern Cameroonian was blocked under a chair. 3 police officers interlocking him from the waist up to his feet, and one not just with his knees on his neck, but with his boots jumping on his head and his neck. The irony is, we have even southern Cameroonians who did not use that as their wallpapers, as their display pictures, as their profile papers. They didn't. We have people who call themselves our brothers, known as Francophones. They don't care even about babies that were killed. We see them today changing their profiles and throwing crocodile tears all over the place about our black brother who was brutally and mercilessly killed by this white policeman. That is an irony. It's a big irony to begin with. We've seen worse than this just in the past 3 years in the southern Cameroons. I mean, worse than this by any way, size, shape, or form. Where did the black man go wrong is the question. And where is the black man going wrong is still even the much more important question. We must ask and answer if we must get out of this dilemma. Minneapolis has been in turmoil since 3 days ago, or you can say 4 days ago. Well, they didn't go out to burn the police stations and other homes initially. It took rage to an extent for them to do that. And it may continue if the simple solution is not taken. What is the simple way out here? Arrest these murderous killers. Arrest these barbarians, all of them. But we hear excuses. If this thing came from an Arab or a black man, they will coin it and term it terrorism. When it comes from a white man, they start doing all sort of gimmish to produce some sort of psychopath in the guy. The guy must be mad to have done that. If a black man does it, he is in total control of his faculty. When a white man does it, he must be mad, he wasn't well. So I thought the Czech people, they do medicals before giving people jobs. So the police, the white police officers in this country don't go for medicals. They don't do that medicals. It is designed only for migrants and black people in the country. I mean, if you did medicals, then we should know that you're crazy. And if you're crazy, we wonder how you got a job to protect citizens. How can a madman be given a gun and a license to protect civilians? This is a joke. Sad enough, you have black people who reason with that. Who reason with that? I don't know how. So where did the black man go wrong? And where is the black man still going wrong? I'll share my little understanding of this whole issue with you. And this is not an authoritative position because it's not my field. I am a reasonable person. What I do is I read, I investigate issues, I ask questions, and I observe and come to my own little conclusions. These conclusions here cannot be authoritative given that I'm not an expert in this field. I'm not a philosopher, I'm not a psychiatrist, all of these things, but I can, at least I'm a human being, I can observe. When you look at the white man, this individual who calls himself the white man, and now there are a group of people, they call themselves the white people. When you look at what they have been able to do, first of all, they introduce a policy which many Africans have not taken time to study. His name is George Locke. He is the founder of this thing called liberalism. He died somewhere in the 18th century, early 18th century, 1706. And his premise, they call it the first principle. The first principle, for example, this mobile phone, if you put it into bits and pieces, in other words, if you scatter it into different parts, and then you have the battery, you have all these risers and cells in them, all of these things, the chips, when you put them apart, those little things are the foundation of this complete phone. You call them the first principle, the composition of a thing. The first principle of liberalism is the Bible. The amazing thing is that the first principle of this thing called liberal concept, we live free and we die free. I can do whatever I want so long as it doesn't hurt another person. That is the concept, liberalism. Do you know it is from the Bible, the argument that this guy, John Locke, not George, John Locke, the argument he brought to bring up his liberalism, from which we have the so-called thing human right, the premise is the Bible. But today we know that that argument does not stand anywhere in the Bible. You cannot do anything you like according to the Bible. According to the Bible, you must go to the will of God. And you can see that the white man's society really, by and large, has nothing to do with God's principle. And again, the policy that runs the country is called liberalism. Moving on then, if you look at there's a concept called epistemology. In other words, how you view the world. How do these people view the world? What they have successfully done is that after their colonialism, they had a safe passage because our people were already getting the brainwash. They had a safe passage to bring in their liberalism. How did they bring it? They call it now human rights. Human rights. That they want to protect human rights as a form of liberalism. And how would they succeed with that easily? They got into the minds and heads of the African woman. They got into the minds and head of the African women. This is really not my subject, but I thought we should touch it. Because you can see this western wind blowing across the minds of our African women. Our daughters, girls, and sisters, and the women are worse. They don't have a culture anymore. They have lost Africanism. They are trying to insert themselves in Western society, and they can't because they will never get there. So they are in between. Not Africans, not the West. What are they? Nothing. Now you come to the place called the United States of America. By the way, I'm here in the United States. I am scared to take a walk. I'm scared to move on the streets. Because if I were George Floyd, I would have been killed earlier. Because I will fight and die. I will fight. It won't take them that much to kill me. For nothing. I'm scared to move because this is the dilemma. Even black people don't greet black people here. You say hello. They don't look at you. I love playing with children. When I see a child, I want to smile at that child. If possible, I want to bend down and shake hands with that child, wish them well. You cannot do it here, especially with the white child. This is a society when dogs and cats are more valuable than human beings. I was traveling a few days ago. I traveled with dogs in the plane. They are with you in the airport. You want to buy something to eat, the lady or the guy is standing with her dog or his dog, and this dog is by you. In my culture, I don't go that close to dogs. I love dogs, but it's not my pet. I don't have it as a pet, which I harbor in the house. These dogs have visa to enter the plane. Black people don't have visa till this day to enter countries and planes. Dogs have visas. Liberalism, that it is. Human rights. The rights of the dogs. But the black man hasn't got the rights. Where did the black people go wrong? This is how we are going wrong. Look at the black society in South Africa. By the way, that one is their own country. So let's come to the United States, which is their country by default today, but we know the story of slavery and colonialism. If you will simply read what slavery was all about, you would die of rage. What our great-grandparents went through as slaves is unimaginable. It calculates to no end how human beings could be treated like that. It is immeasurable, the sufferings that was meted on these people. Now they are dead and gone. Their children are here. This is their country. No culture, no name, no dialect. George Floyd. Is George Floyd an African name? No. What about Michael Jackson? Not good to speak about dead people, but that one even went further to change his color and his hair. Where are the black people going wrong? There is it. They lose everything, their name, their home, their culture, their tradition, everything, including their dialect. All they know today is English. Horrible English. Those words I cannot use here. 4-letter words and all of these things. Yo man, whoa, whoa, yo man. This is all we have. They have been succumbed into a lifestyle more rigid than they would have been in their own country. They have accepted it. They are in their little corner. You go to the black societies and black neighborhoods in America, you would cry. You would cry for these black people. But they have accepted their fate. They are just there doing their own thing. And these white people will still not leave them alone. You go to their neighborhood, you leave all the big crimes in your own neighborhood. The real crime is there with you. Black people are not the immoral people in this society. You are the immoral one. You go right there and you kill their children every day in America. Every day they kill one black man. They kill this black man for nothing. 20 of them against one. A black man who has already surrendered on his knees, you still send these wild dogs who have visas to travel than the black person. You send the dogs to eat up the man's leg. Guess what? Where are black people going wrong? In the police force of the United States, in the military, we have black people. Where are all these, how do you call them, what's name? Will Smith, Oprah Winfrey. As for that one, she says she prefers white people to black people. All these people, Beyonce, Jay-Z, these people will see on TV, all of these big names. Where are they in such situations? Shouldn't be the ones in the front line. They should be the ones in the front line leading the black community against such nonsense. Where are they? They're in a 5-star restaurant taking breakfast, eating salad with the very killers of their own people. So until we rise up, it will never stop. This one is warming up now. In 2 weeks' time, you hear another case. What is done? Nothing. They will tell you the man was sick. He was a psychopath. He had mental disorder. If it was an Arab or a black man doing that, oh no, they are terrorists. Their own illness is terrorism. But this one, no, he was shaky. So the police force in America is the only company and the only institution that hires mad people. Other companies don't, because you need to go to medicals, and if they find you wanting, they will not give you the job. But the American police force is an expert in hiring mad people, giving them guns, knives, batons, to do one thing, to exercise that madness, not on any other race, but on the black race. The madness starts as soon as they see a black man. You never see them doing it against a white man. We cannot reason with that. It is unreasonable. That is actually the definition of unreasonable. There is no way to reason with that. It's like telling me to consider federalist. It's like telling me that anybody who would still think that we have to be begging federalism from La Republique is a madman, so I should be thinking about him. No, it's a no-go area. Where are blacks going wrong? Look at what is going on in this Western society. I studied in a place called India. India happens to be the hub of IT today. The people are tough in IT. You meet a taxi driver, he's a Microsoft certified system engineer. You meet someone working in a bar as a waiter, you talk to him, he's a Cisco certified network associate. You have all of them, they are experts. God has given them. They are here in this country. People will tell you that in Europe and America today, if you go to IT companies, especially that industry, that particular industry, or in companies that need IT services, the guys manning these positions are Indians. I bet you. Check their own community. The Indian woman you see in India is the same Indian woman you see in America. She still wears her sari, has her red dot on her face, respects her husband. She would live here for 1,000 years. Her tongue would not change. She would speak good English, but she would speak with her accent. Chinese are the same. If you meet Arabs, they'll be the same. If you meet Jews, they'll be the same. Come to your African sisters. Soon as they come here and do some IT for 1 year or some nursing for 2-3 years, and they have a salary of about 80 to 70 to 90,000 per year, marriage is over. Even those who were brought here by men as wives, the first thing they do, they go to the tattoo house and draw a big tattoo. After 3 years, their tongue has changed drastically. The question I ask, if you took them to China and they lived there for 10 years, would they start speaking English like Chinese? No. If you took them to India and they live in India for 30 years, would they speak English like Indians? No. If you took them to Japan, would they? No. Bring them to America, they'll change. Because they want to feel superior over another black. This is where our problem is. They want to compete with their own people. They can't compete with the blacks and Indians and Chinese. It is their own people they want to put under their feet. Check it out. For those of you who have lived in America, I challenge you, prove me wrong. Give me 20 cases you know since you came and have been hearing stories in America. For those of you who've been here for about 40 years, give me 10 cases you know of Indians who have destroyed their marriages in the American courts. Give me 10 cases. And then you know the answer to cases of Cameroonians, Southern Cameroonians and La Republicans and Nigerians and East Africans who do it on a daily basis. Where is Africa going wrong? Where are blacks going wrong? We are going wrong because we have refused to be Africans. We want to be somebody else. When you leave and abandon your culture, and the worst thing is you adopt a culture without understanding the presuppositions, the foundation, the premise of that particular concept you follow, it is horrible. Because that particular premise is meant only to destroy your own premise. It's a counter culture to your own. And they know it is easy to accept it. Liberal, do what you want. How can you be in a world that you do what you want, for crying out loud? But the question is, how liberal is liberalism? How is America liberal? I can do what I want without hurting anyone. Is that true? Can I do that in America? Can I do everything I want without hurting anyone and it is okay? So again, it is a subjective concept. It is subjective. You are as liberal as you can be soon as you are not stepping on the white man's toes. Once your liberalism crosses the line and touches the toes of the white man, they will teach you a lesson. The only thing liberalism does to black people is that it puts them against the black people. It doesn't put them against any other person. It puts you against your very essence. That is all that concept of liberalism and capitalism does. We have to change. Therefore, the Quran says that God does not change the condition of a people until they themselves change their own condition. God is watching. Oh yes. He is just and he is merciful. Oh yes, but he has sent us prophets and he has left us with his word. The Chinese took themselves as a people, changed, and God is changing conditions for them. The Indians did. The Rwandans are doing it. We are seeing. They have taken that decision to dump France, dump French, dump assimilation, and they have found a new lifestyle, and God is making things work for them. That is what it takes. Look at the Southern Cameroon's revolution, filled with hate and envy and competition. Why? Because we are here thinking that we want to be better than another person. We are not doing what we can do best for the people, and Southern Cameroons, we simply want to be better than that person. This is exactly the concept of liberalism. It doesn't make you want to get better than anything but your own essence. You simply want to be better than the black. I beg, I don't like me down at tin. I don't like me down at tin. Which one do you want? That of the white man. That is how it goes. And when they kill your brother, what have you to say? Where is the black race going wrong? The black race is going wrong as far as they keep distancing themselves from their identity. What is your identity? Your identity is your culture. I love Africa. I love my culture. I love being an Hausa man. I love being an African Muslim. I love being from Dub. There is nothing to replace that. As a matter of fact, the experience I have in this life reminds me that there is no other place I can be. Because I tell you, no white man can put his knee on my head in Bamenda and go free. My people will beat him if I can't. No white man can dare that. Now, if you don't want the black people in your country, what do you do? Please, take them back to their fatherland. Take them back to their fatherland. These people don't even know where to go. If you ask them, start going, they don't know where to go. But the bad thing is our people are not even helping. I was there in Canada. I saw a black lady pushing her baby. One is in the, how do you call it? The baby's thing, that the thing they use in carrying children. And then the small boy was walking with her. I saw her and I was so excited. It has been a while I did not see black people. And I greeted her. I said, "Good morning, sister." She put her head down. And the pompous me cannot swallow it. So I walked to her. I said, "Sister, what is the problem? How will I greet you and you won't even look at me?" Now she said, "Oh, she's sorry," and so on. And she's not even a Canadian black. She's from Ghana. So I spoke pidgin to her. I said, "How can you people be like this? How did we get to this level? Where seeing your black person doesn't matter to you?" And I hear some black Americans don't like seeing other black people from other countries. So how do we defeat the enemy? Because to me, there are no three things. It's two things. It's either you are a racist or you are an anti-racist. The word racism is not our word. The word violence is not our word. The word looting is not our word. Even stealing. These people, when they came to take our parents from Africa, they did not meet them stealing. They did not meet them looting. They did not meet them rooting. Still, they did not meet them doing homosexuality. All of these things is their attitude. The Africans learned it from you, my white people. They learned it from you. You cannot accuse us and you cannot show any candle to moral life to us Africans. There is no way you can say you want to teach us good manners. We respect you for your technology, for your organizational skills, and by the way, you destroyed ours. There is no way a white person can want to teach me morals. You met our parents in order. You destroy them, scatter them, and today you kill them. Show them where to go back, and we would gladly receive them if they are ready to come. This is why it has to start with Southern Cameroons. Is it not a shame that with all of these movie stars we have who are black people, musical stars, we have celebrities, Southern Cameroons has been bleeding for 4 years. None of them can speak. Do you want to tell me that this Will Smith and all of these people have not seen what is going on in Southern Cameroons? They didn't see what happened, the xenophobic attitude in South Africa. And by the way, most of them have homes that they have purchased in Cape Town and Johannesburg. Are they not seeing what is happening in Nigeria? Why can't they stand with all the wealth and influence they have to even speak about the bad things happening to their brethren? And so God reminds us, He will not change the condition of a people until they themselves change their own conditions. Black people have to change. We need to do a U-turn and be us as a people. This is the only way out. We need to be a people of our own. Again, I repeat, and I'm telling the white folks, you cannot show us a candle when it comes to morality. There is nothing to learn from you people when it comes to a moral life. And we know history today. Don't come here and tell us about your liberalism. We can challenge you with that, and you have no feet to stand on. Soon as it crosses your line, it becomes terrorism and violence. When you're the one practicing it, you're practicing your liberalism. You tell us you're liberal. How liberal are you? How liberal are you? How liberal are you in your own country? You are not. But you export the same culture to our own place and push it down the throat of our leaders, who are also very demonic people. And they in turn pass it in the name of human rights. What human rights? To sell our daughters to you? Our children, our female children must be mistresses in the name of arts and cultures? They walk naked in the name of parade show and modeling? So the rich ones can pick them and use them? No, we want to have a society. We have to reproduce. To reproduce, we need to get married. To get married, we need wife materials. We need children. And you come here, you destroy everything. You dwindle our population on purpose. And the bad thing is that we are not seeing it. Soon as our sisters come here, they want a tattoo. Soon as you just need to actually let them watch TV for 3 weeks. Their tone against their husband changes. Just by watching TV for 3 weeks, they change. Speak rudely to your husband when the Bible you have in your hands and Christians tell you to submit to that man. Submit to that man. I'm not here saying that all the men are good or some women don't have good reasons not to be with men at a particular time. But not with the reasons you give me. With the reasons I've heard is simply that you've been brainwashed. You have lost your essence. All right. So this is where the black man is going wrong. I have not been able to sleep about this because when you see how black people are treated in this place and then you know their history, the history of slavery and colonization, you ask yourself, God, what is this? What is this? But as a student of the Quran and the Bible, I turn around and see that we compose a big percentage of the problem. We constitute a big percentage of the problem. We are helping matters to get worse. So much so that even the Chinese that the Cameroons donated food to in the 80s have the audacity to beat black people today in the streets. They have the audacity to beat black people. So it's either you're a racist or you're anti-racist. There is no safe passage in the middle now. If some white people think that it's a human problem, if they think that some people are just crazy, some are psychopaths, the rest of the white society is clean, this is the time to prove it. Come out, all of you, and change your system. All of you come out, not some. But you won't do that. You won't. Because most of you are like that. Most of you don't like black people. You don't like black people. We disgust you. But you got our parents and enslaved them. We didn't come to you. And today you have the audacity to deny people visas and you give dogs visas. I don't even want to talk about that place called Europe because their own case is horrible. That Europe that was built by the hands of black people. All right, so now that we've been able to pay some tribute to our brother George and many other black people who have been murdered by the white man for being black people, that is their crime. When the victims refuse to be victims, they are called terrorists. They are called terrorists. It is taking days to arrest those 4 guys. Even the one guy, the killer himself, they are charging him for a 3rd-degree murder because it's not a white man. You call that a 3rd-degree murder? Which one is 1st-degree murder? That an adult is crying that he cannot breathe. You are there on his neck. He's begging you for his life until you kill him. And then they are calling it 3rd-degree murder. And looking for excuses that you are not well. You are a psychopath. because you are not an Arab or a black man. If you were those, you must have been a terrorist. There must be some terrorism in your lineage. And the other three are there. They are looking for excuses to give us. And some black people are trying to reason with that crap. Okay. All right. Black people must sit up. This is why I need my country. I need my Southern Cameroons. We are going to wash Southern Cameroons off this dirty attitude. Liberalism is not going to govern Southern Cameroons. God's law is going to govern Southern Cameroons. All of you girls, these girls with this your tattoos and all of these your things, you're definitely going to leave that somewhere. All these half-naked dressings. Where did you get that from? You copy it from them. And you're not doing that because you understand it. You want to challenge your own people. You want to challenge your husbands. You want to challenge your father. You want to challenge your mother. That you are a grown-up, you are a big person. You're going to have to come and live here in America and enjoy how the white people treat you. In Southern Cameroons, truly, we would not tolerate that. We are going to bequeath to our children what our parents tried to bequeath to us. This Western world blowing all your minds. You talk anyhow, use what you don't know. What's up, man? What up? Dub, zop, zop. You come here and live here for 30 years. The certificate you have is yo, man, yo, man. Yo, man, what's up, man? Wear chains on your feet without knowing the real significance. Male will now put earrings in their ears without knowing the real significance. Plaiting their hair like women without knowing the real significance. And then you blame them when they call us fools. Me or man pack fine. Really and truly, me or man pack fine. That independence, we are going to get it. And some of us, even if we are killed, there are those who would stay there, and that country must be an upright, morally country. It must be a country that God's rule governs most. Not concepts that people don't understand. And we follow like children. All right then, okay. I'm sorry. So, yeah, I'm sorry. I got a little bit emotional. But this situation, it is a heartbreaking one. The whole thing. When you look at it and then you look at your own sisters. You look at us. You look at the Indians in the same society making more money than our people. You look at how they cannot afford to dump their own culture. And you see our people. They have lost it totally and completely. Lost it totally. Totally. Oh God. Throwing their husbands out of the house in the snow for no reason. Subjugating a man to that level where he does your own job and does his jobs because you are in a society called a liberal society. You live 3 minutes away from your child's school because you have a problem with your husband. He has to drive 3 hours to come and pick up that child and drop him 3 minutes away from the care center. When you are there, he drives 2 hours 30 minutes and 2 hours 30 minutes back. 5 hours to deliver a boy within 3 minutes. This is what black women are doing in America and Canada. This is what they do. No respect. The day of reckoning is coming. Trust me. We need our country very fast. Stay here and enjoy this liberal world. But when you do that, when they kill another George Floyd, don't cry. Don't cry. Because I think you're pretending. Don't cry. You have to be happy. Because you are all enablers. You are enabling the killing of these black Africans in the United States. The cops, the black cops, all these black people working for the system are enablers. Big time enablers. Then you come out and you're crying. All right. Okay, and now let's take a break for 3 minutes, and then we go to the other subject, please. Yeah, it's important to add, because since I grew up in my part of my most of my life, you can say that at least 25 years of my life was spent in my country. I've never heard a man insult women up to insulting her private parts and whether or not how she does in bed. I heard it from a grown-up adult claiming to be a doctor, that man called Santos, that will insult a woman and insult even parts which God claims that are his temple. The private parts for which a Muslim will kill you if you insult his mother or his wife. A Muslim, I'm telling you, will kill you if you did that. This is a man happily doing it on social media. Liberalism. Because such a man, if he did it in our community, he will be excommunicated. You will put him on exile. He will leave the land. He will not accept such nonsense. That thing called liberalism definitely will not work in Southern Cameroon. It will not work. We will make sure it doesn't work. It doesn't mean people will not have their free speech and so on. But to what extent is a speech free? To what extent do we allow such nonsense called free speech? Do the white people tolerate free speech? Can you speak to them freely? That's not true. Try it, they'll call the police for you, and then you'll know how free your speech was. Go to your parks and talk to white people anyhow. And the 911 will tell you to what extent you have such a thing called free speech. Okay, once more, hello ladies and gentlemen. Let's continue then with the next subject, which is the 5 levels of leadership. But before then, let's remember, God will not change the people until they change themselves. Black people have lost their identity. Even back there in our country, for example, Southern Cameroon, or Nigeria, or like Republic of Cameroon, you see our women and our girls is horrible. I thank God for Islam. I thank God for Christianity. True Christian women and true Islamic women have maintained. And to be honest with you, nobody can pretend. Even those who think that they are liberal are envious of these Muslims. They are envious of these Christians. Look at the children here. What can we boast of our children, these children that are being born here in the United States? What is there to really leverage upon? A child calls his uncle by the name, call their parents by name. They have no shame. You ask a child to go get a cup of water, they ask you why. This is what they teach them in school. Disrespect them. Disrespect your parents. This is what they do, basically. And give them police numbers to call for you. You cannot. There is no white child. The only thing any white child or any child that grows up in the West has to teach our children back home is immorality. They can't show them the candle of morality. No way. No way. What? They have nothing to teach our children. Now I know. Nothing at all. Nothing. Why do I say nothing? Because even their education is not necessary for us. You know, a pa in Batibo who enjoys his mbu derives the same satisfaction as the white man in America or in Spain enjoying his wine. Our children don't miss what they don't know. It is not their life to enter these trains and these airplanes. They will not miss it. Those who are used to doing it should be missing it. And what is that if you want to teach my child? How does that help my child? Oh, the child needs to be exposed to what? To learn what and know what? Tell me. To know what? What is the benefit? Tell me. That your child can use an iPad and my child cannot. How is he better than my child? Oh, my child can read the Quran. He can read the Quran, what will help him here and the hereafter. And when the time comes, he will know how to use the iPad. What are we boasting of here? We destroy our lives, destroy that of the children. Liberalism. And most people here in the West don't know the concept on which the white man has placed them. And they are here killing black people. You enslave their parents, and they are just there trying to live in their own small way in the country. You've enslaved them for 200 years and more. And you go in those neighborhoods and kill these people every day. Shame on you, these white people. Shame on you. But you cannot do this to me in Bamenda. I bet you. There is no way you can't. Me and you would die. The skies will meet me and you on the surface of the earth. Black people have to change. There's nothing to envy here. Nothing whatsoever. Okay, so leadership. I got this book. I don't know if you can see it. How do I hold it now? Huh? Like that? Can you see it like this? Or is it like this? Yeah. Or like this, right? All right. So it is a book by John C. Maxwell, How Successful People Lead. It's a good book. I thought I should share with you. I'm still studying it, so you have to permit me. I'm going to read by and large from the book for you. But I thought we should share because I find the content of it very necessary and important, especially at this particular period of our revolution. It was easy for me because I studied management, and leadership is a wing of management. So, but the author really puts this in a very simplistic manner, and it has a different approach and principles, which to me is different from what I know, and it makes a lot of sense. Most of us are leaders, if not all of us, in homes and in our own small corners. So the content of it is very vital. Let's look at it together. So to begin with, if your vision, by the way, is to be successful by imparting the word or a community or a group of people, then you must learn leadership. There is no way out. To succeed, you must learn leadership. It doesn't mean you need to go and enroll in a school to necessarily have a degree or have some certification in leadership. It means you have to learn it somehow. You need to either listen to people, or now you have online studies that you can do, but you must learn leadership. It's very important. One thing that we've always mistaken and confused with leadership is management. People always confuse management with leadership. You know, leadership is a process. Management is not necessarily a process as the dictionary definition of process. Because management, sometimes you see a manager at its best, or management altogether at its best, when things remain the same. You know, when the policies are the same, when the clientele is the same, management is sweet. It's easy to manage that. When you've grown to that level where you understand your staff well, management is best when things remain the same. But leadership is different, because to lead, you're dealing with people and their dynamics, changing circumstances. So, and these changes do occur continually. It's not a static change where it changes and stays for a time. Basically, this brings John Maxwell in his book, How Successful People Lead, is explaining to us that we must follow principles of leadership. And to him, he has broken down the principles into 5 levels. And I find these 5 levels very, very rather educative and persuasive, as opposed to other arguments I've seen. Arguments mean other scholars, other scholarships, other school of thought. And this is the essence, progressive knowledge. It doesn't end. We can have fundamental concepts. The presuppositions could be the same, but the approaches could be new as time goes on. It is important. So this to me is a very new, fresh approach, which makes a lot of sense and worth thinking about it and trying to implement, especially in our revolution now. If you ask me, our revolution is some leaders have attained level 3. I'm going to explain what level 3 is. Some are still at level 1. And for us to succeed, we need to get to level 5. So not bad. We're getting there. Just 2 levels up and then we're gone. So the level 1 actually is the position level. This position level is the lowest of all leadership. It is an entry level whereby you enter by your position. For example, you enter as an IT manager. So what is giving you the capacity to lead there and then is just the fact that you are an IT manager, that position. So the only influence that comes with this position is your title. So some people stay here forever, and people who stay here can be most qualified as bosses. They are bosses, just a boss, but not a leader, because they don't go above that. So such people have problems working with volunteers, with young people and educated persons. People whose leadership starts and ends at their position, they will only tell you that I have been this, I was this, I am this. They cannot work with volunteers, with young dynamic people, and with educated people. They work with people who are actually being hired. That is, they engage them to do something by promises or by money. They don't engage, they don't like educated people around them, people who can challenge their intellect and academics, and also young people, because young people are very vibrant and young people are bound to be dynamic. They will have to be moving up. So these position level leader people don't want volunteers, students, volunteers, young people, and educated people around them, because they can't cope in that environment. The teacher will become the student. The student would become a teacher. So they don't like that position. Is that a good position? No. Let's therefore move on to level 2. Level 2 is the permission level. Permission, because it says permission because it has to deal with relationship. So for relationship to be effective, what needs to happen? What needs to happen is that people need permission. You need to grant your permission before any relationship can be meaningful. So this level 2 is based entirely on relationship. So instead of just staying at the position level, you want to be at the level where you use your position at the same time to influence a relationship, to grab some relationship. It is very important. And what happens here is that people will follow you. Why are people following you? Because you have the title CEO? Because you have the title managing director? No. Because they want to. They follow you necessarily because they want to follow you, not because they have to. They have to is at level 1 when your position is alternating them. But at level 2, they want to follow you. They make the decision to follow you. Why? Because you treat them as individuals who have value. Once you treat them as individuals who have value, you begin to develop influence with them. Not in them, but with them. You develop influence with them. And then they will trust you. So the goal here is not to preserve your position, but to know the people and move along with them. When you reach level 2, you've not abandoned level 1, but your goal at level 2 is not trying to preserve that name. Your goal there is that you're focusing on understanding your people and then moving along with them. You're taking them along with you. This brings us now to level 3. Am I fast, please? Am I fast? I can't get a reply. Am I fast? Okay. So one of the dangers about level 2, which is the permission and relationship level, one of the dangers getting to level 2 is that most people, when they get to level 2 and they start having this favorable relationship, they confuse it to the end. They confuse it to be the end, and then they get stuck there. But no, that is a mistake. Good leaders will not stop there. They can't just stop there. They move on. And by moving on means they want to get things done. This brings us to level 3. Level 3 is the production level. People are not just content with their position. They are not content with the fact that they have started building up good relationship. Now they want to get the things that are supposed to be done. So what do leaders do? Leaders get things done. So level 3 is based on simple principles. Level 3 is based on results. You want results. That is the production level. So level 1 is position for those who are writing. Level 2 is permission for those who are writing. And in position, people follow you because they have to. Don't forget that. People follow you because they have to. In level 2 permission, people follow you because they want to. And in level 3 production, people follow you because of what you have done for the organization or the institution or for them. They follow you because of what you've done. They see what you're doing, and then they want to follow you to produce more. Level 4 is people development. People development. Here, people follow you because of what you have done for them. Level 3, people follow you because of what you've done for the organization or the institution. Level 4, people follow you because of what you have done for them. That is why it is called people development. So you see, leaders become great not because of their power and not because of their ability to empower others. That is what leaders do in level 4. They don't, not because of the ability that they have and the power they have, but because of their ability to empower others. So that is what leaders will be doing in level 4. Besides building that relationship, and besides having that production, and besides having the position, what they want now is that they want to empower other people. They want to reproduce the leadership in them in other people. So you find many people acting and behaving like them and better than them. That is the level where people are being empowered. This is a very good level. Level 4 changes the lives of people. That's what happens, is that you realize that the leader is now changing the lives of the people wittingly and unwittingly. With their knowledge and out of their knowledge, they are changing people's lives. They are impacting people's life like that, just from a distance, by what they do and how and what they say. That is level 4. Now, we are not yet there. Our revolution is still at level 3. There is some results being produced as a result of leadership. There are some things being produced. There's some work being done. And there's some good relationship being created by some leaders to an extent. And some people are still hanging with their position and titles. To me, this is my opinion. It could be wrong. But I think we are not yet at that level where we want to empower people, develop them. Where we have many leaders being replicated. We are not yet there. What about level 5? Level 5 is the stage we call the pinnacle. P-I-N-N-A-C-L-E. Pinnacle. The top. People follow you because of who you are and what you represent. This is where people follow you because of who you are and what you represent. The highest and most difficult level in leadership is the pinnacle level. While most people can learn to climb the level 1 through 4, level 5 requires not only effort, skill, and intentionality, but it also has some level of talent requirement. In other words, you must be this person who is born with talent, who is born to lead, to attain pinnacle, to attain level 5, where people follow you because of who you are and what you represent. Where people follow you because of who you are and what you represent. Now, this is very important to remember. So, developing leaders to the point where they are able and willing to develop other leaders is the most difficult leadership task of all. But here are the 5 payoffs. Level 5 leaders develop 5 organizations. Level 5 leaders develop level 5 organizations. In other words, 5-star leaders develop 5-star organizations. They create opportunities that other leaders don't. Their leadership gains a positive reputation. They create legacy in what they do. As a result, level 5 leaders often transcend their position, their organization, and sometimes their industry is being transcended. So now these are the 5 levels of leadership which I consider very important. And I think that we don't have a long time as Southern Cameroonians to attain level 5. We're at level 3. Inshallah, God willing, we'll be in level 5 pretty soon. With your commitment, with your positive energy, positive ideas, the right contributions, no bigotry, no sectarianism, and talking to ourselves instead of talking about ourselves would push our leadership to the pinnacle, and there we shall gain victory. Now, should we say that someone who lives from position 1 to position 2 necessarily abandons position 1? Or you can say level 1, which is position. When someone is going to level 2, which is permission, do they abandon position? No. You need position to get the permission, the relationship. So is someone going to level 3, which is production, abandons position and permission to attend production? Oh no. You need the permission, which is the relationship you develop, alongside with your permission to be able to start producing. Does someone who now goes to the next level, which is human development or people development, does he leave level 3, which is production, level 2, which is permission, and level 1, which is position? Do they abandon all of these levels because they want to get the people development? No. They need the production as well as they need the permission and also the position. What about the person who intends to arrive at the pinnacle? How can you? Don't forget, it says it's a ladder. But it's not a ladder whereby you go from one step and abandon the other. You carry everything along, but not sticking to them. You carry them along, but not sticking to them. So to attain the pinnacle, necessarily you don't abandon the position, which is level 1. So with this, ladies and gentlemen, I'm sorry for the rage, but it's really crazy. I'm still writing my book, as you know. I'm going to put this black people's madness of liberalism. I'm going to put it in that book. I think a chapter should enter, inshallah, God willing. So spelling of what? The pinnacle? Perhaps. Okay. Pinnacle. That's pinnacle. I'm sure that's what the comrade was asking. So let's take a few questions, perhaps 3 or 5 questions, and then I'll be able to wrap up from here now. On the subject only. Well, you may want us to discuss a few things about our black people who are being murdered every day, and our brothers and sisters who come to America and they are more Americans than the Americans. But most importantly, let's talk about leadership. Thank you very much for your kind attention. I'm waiting for questions. I realize there's a delay between the time that you read you've read what someone else is typing or listen to me and the time that you write in response. So yeah, pinnacle. All right, any questions on the subject, please? Okay, the very first question. Can a very proud person lead? Yeah, the answer to that is no. They may purport to lead, but that leadership will not work. You cannot lead your people in pride. Allah says in the Quran that glorify and defend the people who follow you. So for you to lead, you must be humble. You must be more humble than your followers, because actually a leader is supposed to serve the people, not have the people serve them. So proud people, really and truly, must refrain from being proud if they intend to lead. They can't lead even their own homes in that case. From your analysis on the leadership levels, to me, our revolution is at level 4. Okay, that's okay, Comrade Mume, that's all right. I would say it is at level 3 for now. Why are you afraid of America-led talks on the crisis? That's not the subject, and that's wrong, so I won't give an answer to that. Any other questions? All right. If there are no questions coming, then I would bid you goodbye. What is the criteria for Ambazonians to choose a leader? Okay, this is a very difficult question. How do Ambazonians choose a leader? Number one, in this case, you cannot choose any person or follow any leader who doesn't care for you. Care for you, by this I mean, you need to look at the stakes on ground zero. Who are the people taking the heat on ground zero? Or in the revolution, they are on ground zero. Who are the ones suffering ground zero? Any leader who does not show total consent and care, I'm not talking about camouflage. Any leader who does not exhibit total love, consent, and care, primarily to ground zero, any leader who makes decisions without considering ground zero, any leader who does not follow the revolution strictly in terms of a revolution as itself, is not somebody I would encourage anyone to follow. You know, but I thank God, I think the leaders we have do all have the love for Southern Cameroonians, and they understand deeply the revolution. So yes, but you cannot have the love of the people if they are not sure that you care for them. So good leaders are those who serve the people, and those and not those who expect the people to serve them. So you can choose your leadership based on such criteria. Can one force himself to be a leader? Yeah, many people do that, but they are actually called dictators. They are not leaders that people themselves would want to follow, but they'll be dictating on the people. Yeah, so but those who force themselves to be leaders, they will only stay at position 1, which is a self-acclaimed and proclaimed position, and they will never attain level 2. And if he should force himself as a leader, what happens if the people don't want him? He will fail if the people don't want him. It's that simple. The inevitable result is failure. Any other questions? Let me see. Can you throw more light on the issue? Because the word leadership looks very frightful, but your explanation tried to make it look simple. Oh yes, yeah, sure. It's very complex, the leadership in the world, and I've told you again, it's a concept called liberalism. John Locke, in late 17th century, actually he died in the early 18th century, came out with a concept which they call today liberalism. That is from where we have this thing called human rights. It is a system that produces very bad leadership, very, very bad leadership. If you see Africans who have succeeded, Middle Eastern countries and Asian countries who have succeeded, is because though they understand that people have their freedom, they have their rights, but they didn't follow the white man definition of human rights. They followed God's definition of human rights. And you see them, they are different. If you go to Asian countries, you admire them. You can say they don't have all these beautiful, quote unquote, beautiful things in America and Europe, but they maintain their culture and they are happy that way. You see? So this is it. It's difficult to have the kind of leadership one want, but this doesn't stop us from acquiring knowledge and trying to implement in our own little corner. And by the way, it's not me who breaks it that way. It is John Maxwell. I really find it very good. It's a good way if one would want to have any impact in life. Okay. I usually don't like staying long on Facebook live shows, so I think we've answered some basic questions and then we've shared what we could share for today. And the subject which we postpone, inshallah, God willing, we should handle it next week, which is how to study the Quran and understand it. We did that with the Bible, and I hope some folks are using it. Is anyone using the method we have in how to study the Bible? Is someone trying to use it in studying the Bible already? Can a good leader make decisions that will help their people by doing contrary to the people? Oh yes, sometimes, yeah. Sometimes this is what leaders are expected to do. They will make very hard decisions based on the information they have and sometimes the inspiration they have. We've seen that in the case of Jesus Christ. We've seen that in the case of Moses. We've seen that in the case of Muhammad, where very difficult decisions were made against the people's so-called desire, but it turned out to be good. That is why that kind of leader is the leader who is at pinnacle, who is at level 5, because we have developed he has created his relationship and he has empowered people. At that time, the people trust him. So even when the people have doubts, they will give him that window of opportunity and the leverage to be able to make such decisions. Those are level 5 leaders, in my opinion. Yes, and that was a very good question. Someone is asking, would you like to have a program in our ABC? Which one is our? Is it yours, you and who, sir, please? Okay. All right. So that said, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for being around and for sharing. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.